first, and then maybe we can talk nutrition depending on how much time we have.
Cool. Yeah. So it kind of blends together
Okay.
a little bit. And one of the biggest things that I would say is once I show you kind of how things work, I would sit down and really conceptualize the process that you want to take somebody through. As you can kind of tell with FitHive right now, it's a good and bad thing depending on how you look at it, right? So FitHive is fully customizable to do almost anything you want it to do. That's great because it will do anything you want it to do, but it's not so great if you just kind of go into it without a full-blown plan. But you can't really develop a plan unless you know what it can do. So once I show you, just sit down and really think through it, because building the foundation, especially when it comes to programming, is going to be key. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'll show you what I mean.
Okay. And if it looks like I'm looking up and away, I've got you on a display over there. So
oh, yeah, you're fine. Yep.
That way we can see a little bit better.
All right. So this is the demo account. And the first thing you got to think of is how do you want to organize your exercises and your programs? And what I mean by that is under settings, and you've probably seen this part, but you got exercise categories, exercises, and program categories.
Yeah.
The exercises and exercise categories, you're going to use that to organize how you program based upon how to find items in your database. For example, each exercise, and you can customize the stuff that we add, you can add to it, you can delete them, and you can have as many of these exercises as you want. And a couple of things that you can think about with these exercises, you can think about them as individual movements. You can think of them as full workouts. You can even do full classes if you wanted to inside of each one of these. So for example, the demo account, obviously this is a bunch of random stuff, but you could create, for example, a video of a warm-up, right? Of 9 different warm-ups that you're going to use over and over and over. And each one of those warm-ups is designed around the workout. So if you're going to do a lower body day, upper body day, full body day, high intensity day, or just random warm-ups, instead of having to write them out every single time you create a program, create, 9 to 10, maybe even 20. I mean, that's a lot of warm-ups that people can do from home or do from whatever. That way you can just add and edit them. Inside of each workout though, you've got obviously the name, you've got a description, which you can use this for a lot of different things. You can use this to describe the workout itself, describe the warm-up itself. You can give people, I've seen people use this to put in recommendations on substitutions. Something super easy. Let's say this is a front squat. Hey, if you have any shoulder issues, I recommend doing back squats opposed to front squats. Or if you're working out at home, hey, I know I'm programmed back squats here, but if you don't have a barbell, but you have dumbbells, do a dumbbell squat, or, a medicine ball squat, or in my case, 2-year-old squat.
Right.
Right. So really maximize and use this description, not only to describe the workout or the movement, but also put in, potentially benefits of the movement, modifications, anything that you would, when it comes to virtual, or if you're using this for in the gym, anything that you would tell a client face-to-face, I would probably put in there. And that's a digital asset that you're going to be able to reuse over and over and over and over and over, right? So take the time to build that out.
Definitely what I'm looking for, reusable assets.
Yep. Now, you can add in an image, and this works just like anything in the Hive. You can add any images that you would like.
Right.
The YouTube or video embed URL. You can do YouTube, you can do Vimeo, but here's the big key to this is you don't just use the traditional embed. So for example, pause this. So a lot of people will just hit share.
Oh, baby.
And
no.
use this link.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Okay.
Use this link, but that's not the link we want. You click embed. And then this little snippet right here is what you use. Not the full thing, but just that little HTTPS all the way to the end of the quotes. That's the link
Got it.
you'll use to put inside of this embed. Okay.
I see.
Then the next thing, and this is for you as the programmer, you'll add a
Whoa,
category.
hang on a sec.
Go ahead.
So you copied the link from the share function on YouTube, and then you're just going to paste it there.
Yep. Boom. But it has to be that embed link, not this link. Most people will try to put that link in there, but it has to be
right, which is what I would have done.
Yep. Because it's a kind of a normal thing, but in terms of there's something to do with how it shows up in the programming and the progressive web app that requires that link opposed to the share link.
Okay, so just the embed. Got it. Okay.
Yep. Now this next thing, exercise categories, this is strictly for you. It doesn't really show up on the front end to the end user, but this is just to put, kind of separate things out based upon how you program. For example, to keep it super simple, you could have lower body workouts, upper body workouts, and core workouts, right? So that way, when you go to program, and I show you how to do that, you can click on lower body movements, and it'll just show you a list of your lower body movements, right? You can also put, you know, an example I put in here is different types of classes. So if you're going to put full length classes in here, you know, you can make it the type of class. So then when you go to program it, you can just click on, yep, I want that type of class, and here's my list. Now, if you do that, this YouTube link is going to be the full length class. Okay. So let's say you record a full HIIT class and you want to program that in and have them watch that full video. You could do that. You just put that full video here because the link doesn't matter to this. It could be, you know, this would be HIIT class, I don't know, 12/29/2020, right? And then I'm going to write out the workout, 5 rounds, or, you know, whatever the workout is. I'm going to add the video. I'm going to put it in my high intensity classes category. Here's the next thing. What a lot of people don't do, but I highly recommend it if you're doing virtual or especially at home stuff, is related and substitute exercises. The reason why most people don't do it is it takes time to build out and do it properly. But end user experience will be a lot better if you take the time and actually do this. And what this would be an example of is, let's say in the other example, let's say this is front squat, right? You add in your descriptions, you add in your benefits. You know, again, you can put anything you want in here, but I would put benefits, substitutions, why you would substitute. And then let's say this front squat, you say, you can either substitute back squat, dumbbell squat, or medicine ball squat, or air squat, right? Let's say there's 4 of them, and you write that out and why. And then what the next question is going to be is, what the heck is a medicine ball squat?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's where this is going to come into play. You can put as many additional videos into this exercise as you possibly want. So you could go in.
What does that look like on an, not to get too far ahead of you, but at some point, could you show me what that looks like from an end user perspective? Absolutely.
So back squat, I don't know if we have air squat. I'm assuming we do. Oh, we got a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's so nice that you guys already have a lot of this loaded up.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in here, but you put those in there and you hit save. On the end user experience, it'll look something like this. All right, so here's the app. I'm just going to go to programs, wherever I put programs, there it is. And I'm just going to go to my at home program because that's the one I always mess with. But this is day 1. We'll get into more of how this is kind of sorted, but for example, I think I did it on this one. Yeah. So this is where the description will show up. This is the picture, right? Mm-hmm. This is those substitute and related exercises that I was talking about that you can put in there. You can also click and see a history if they've ever done that front squat before. If you're doing a movement that you put in percentages and they have a 1 rep max in there, it'll automatically put in the weights for them.
Okay.
And then that video that you added, that YouTube video, would look like this. And then they can watch it. Now, the cool thing about this app and building it out this way, they can log in from anywhere. So this would be a desktop, for example, if they logged in to their account, or a tablet or whatever, you know, and watch the video.
Right. They could cast it to the TV.
Yep. They can do whatever they want to do with it. But when you're building this out, here's an example. So I take it out. We'll go to the next day. Next day. Oh, there's one. So like this would be that full length, just adding the full workout in the description, right? And you could put these related and substitute exercises. You could put jump squat, burpee, jump lunges, gorilla burpees, and they're all down here. So you can write out the full workout, but then they could see the videos of each individual movement. And then they can, you know, if you have them track the time or the reps or whatever the domain is.
Okay.
So there's a couple of different ways that you can set that up depending on how you want.
Really quickly, right here on the screen, and this is just an example, but you've got at-home program, you've got, you know, sections A, B, C, and D.
Yep.
What, like within section A, you've got what, 4 exercises there. Is this an example of something that's been set up like a circuit, or is this like, what's the difference between section A and section B in this example, or is that kind of just?
So in this example, what you can do is just click on it and left side rest for 15 seconds between sets. So this would be, in this example, you know, an AMRAP of this particular movement. And then they would go to the next movement. And then they go to the next movement, and so on and so forth. This particular one is exactly what it says. You know, for 4 minutes, they do this minute 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the rest 2 minutes, and so on and so forth. In this example, this is just a 20-minute AMRAP of back squats, push press, and planks, right? And they just kind of do these items. They can track their weights if they wanted to for those particular movements. In this particular example, they would do these movements first, rest, kind of a traditional workout, and of different ways that you can set this up. And it's really going to come down to your programming and how you want
just how I want to do it.
Correct. Okay. And I'll show you some examples when we get into the programming part of it. All of that. So I'm gonna give you 2 kind of thought processes, right? If you record full length classes, I would highly recommend cutting those full length classes up in the individual workouts as well. So when you build out your digital assets, you have both the classes, but also the individual movements, so you can reuse that kind of stuff, right? You can always do voiceovers, or, you know, let's just say you're demonstrating an air squat, and in the video, you didn't actually coach in the video verbally. Well, you could always just put the air squat as the video inside of the YouTube link, and then just describe everything that you need here in words if you'd like to do that. Now, the next thing, the categories, and I kind of gave you an example of that, but exercise categories, you can change and adjust these. You can have as many to as few as you would like. And you can change and adjust these. They're free form, super simple, but it's whatever your training style is. Like I've seen some people add a ton of these. I've also seen people just kind of do the lower body, upper body, core stuff, or you know, depending on the programming, dynamic, static, warm-ups, classes, whatever that looks like. But that's just going to help you
Okay.
organize
So
it.
whatever fits my organizational preferences.
Yep. Now,
Okay.
the more you build that out, though, the easier it is to find workouts, especially if you ever have programming block. Then you don't have to worry. Then you can just be like, oh, I need to program a HIIT class today for this person. Let me just click on HIIT classes and decide which one I want to add.
Right.
Now, in the program section, there is a ton of things that you can do. And let me edit one. I'll just do at home and hit edit. Perfect. So inside the program, when you first create it, there's a couple of things that you can do here as well. You can name it, give it a description. You can add a video, a YouTube video embed, but this is describing the program, right? So if you're selling it to somebody, or if they're looking at it in the app, which looks kind of like this, if you allow it to happen and they browse the programs in your program categories, and a member's like, see how this has a picture? They would see the picture, they could view it. And then if there was a video or something like that here, they could watch the video about it before they sign up for the program. And the reason why that's key is there's a couple of things that you can do. You can put them in different categories, or I consider these folders for the programs. And those categories will split them. The way to think about these is folders, right? So obviously in the demo account, we've got all these random categories just because we keep building it out. But you would really want to focus in on what those categories look like and where those programs fit in. I recommend only having, 4, maybe 5 of these, just so it doesn't confuse people as they go. So you can do that.
So on-demand classes, mobility, arms, ollie lifts. Okay. So those are all programs that they can see from their member app.
Correct. And these will be determined based upon visible to members, yes or no, and self sign up, yes or no. And here's the big difference here. Visible to members means it will show up here, right? If you have it self sign up, members can sign up to the program or switch their current program to this program. What that really means is if you want to sell the program to people without having to do anything, you can do that. Or if you want to allow them.
She just brought me this.
Oh, nice. You're going to be ready to go. So you know that you get a jacket and a bottle of water before you walk out the door.
Figure the rest out. Yep. But okay, so self sign up means they can switch between programs. Are they allowed to be enrolled in multiple programs? Like if I had a warm up program, which is what it looks like you had, and a class demand, are they enrolled simultaneously, or do they technically unenroll themselves from one into the other?
So they can only be self-enrolled into 2 programs at a time. However, you can manually add as many programs as you want. At least I think it's as many as you want, because I keep enrolling myself in the demo account.
And it looks like you've got 5 right there.
Yep. Now, as soon as I go to switch one, let me find one that has one in it. Let's view.
Okay, wait a minute. So you've got classes on demand. That's just a category, but inside classes on demand, those are the programs they can choose from.
Correct. So that's where the folders comes into play, right?
How do you do folders?
/folders, right? So inside the programs, when somebody clicks on programs inside the app, if they don't have anything here, it's going to say browse other programs, or it's always going to say browse other programs. But when you click on that, you've got these different folders or categories. So when I click into it, it will show me whatever programs I have in that particular one. So this on demand has 2 different programs, right?
Okay.
So the key to this is inside of your settings, you have to go to program categories and build
And
those
that's where you build
programs
that
out, right? You can also order them in the order that you want them to show up for people. So,
Okay.
you know, when you edit these or view these, you can give it like a parent account, parent category. So if you wanted categories within categories, you could do that. So if you wanted on-demand classes inside of Olympic lifts, you could do that.
Mhm. Okay.
But you can add a description, an image, or a video, and that image or video will show up like this
Right.
because it's on the category.
Now, would the video autoplay, or would it just be, hey, click this to get the quick rundown?
You would click it, kind of like when you
Okay.
see the workouts. Yep.
Okay.
You know what? Let's actually test it just to make sure, because you might be the first person that asked me that question. Oh, right there it is.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. So the picture will show up on the main category, but then the video will show up in here. And this could be a sales video or you explaining what the programs are about or which one you would recommend for certain people.
Right.
I've also seen people do like beginner programs, intermediate programs, advanced programs, or at-home program, dumbbell programs, barbell programs, or minimum weight programs, or however you want to set it up, right? You just got to think through what that looks like for you, because when you build these programs out, I'm just going to go to one that I use all the time. When you build these programs out, you're going to put them in the appropriate category so that people can find them. If you build the program first without deciding what categories you want, you have to go back to the program, edit it, and then add it to a category, right? So understanding what that kind of looks like or planning that out will make it easier for you. Now, the other thing you can do is when users browse these, you can also connect to related programs. So for example, like you said there, if you created a warm-up program or a mobility program, and that mobility program goes with the at-home HIIT program, and the at-home HIIT program goes to the, I don't know, half marathon program, you could have those all related there. So people can kind of change and make lateral switches and go from program to program if you wanted to have them do so. Now here's the next thing, another thing of planning. You can make it members only, so they must be an active member to be able to view this program. If you do that, anybody that is an active member, no matter what the membership is, they can have access to the program that you design, okay? So if this was a program that was specifically for a custom program for an individual, you wouldn't want that members only, right? Because each person would have to enroll, you'd have to enroll that custom program.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a program that is for the gym in general, because some people will use the gym itself, people can enroll themselves into this. You can do it that way. Or if it's a program that you're going to give to everybody, you can do it that way. Next thing is you can restrict to a specific membership. Now, this is going to come into play when you're selling this program online or to one of your members. The reason why is only if they have the specific membership can they auto enroll themselves through the app into that program. So for example, if this at-home program, let's say you're going to charge $60 for it, or $180 a month for it, or whatever, right? What you would do is you would build a membership. I'm just going to edit one here. Online program. You'd build this membership, out however you want with the contracts, the tags, the self sign up, all that good stuff, right? And hit save. Once you've built the membership that you want to attach to that program, you go to your program, members only, restrict, and then you'll pick that program that they must have before they can enroll into that program. That way, when you hit save, what's going to happen is now, if somebody goes to click on that at-home program, let me see where I put it. I should probably clean this up. When they go to sign up for this, they would have to purchase that membership to not be charged for it. Vice versa, if you sell that membership online via the self sign up link, when they sign up for that membership online and they get access to the app, then they'll be able to click on that program and start the program because they're they can enroll and start it without having to pay again. All right. So you want to make sure that you attach the appropriate memberships that you want to charge to that specific program that you want it to go with. Now you can have multiple programs attached to one membership, right? So let's say you have 3 or 4 different programs that people can kind of flip back and forth through for one monthly fee. Just make sure you add that membership to those programs so people can purchase them appropriately. Now, inside of the one of the biggest things that we typically have questions about in the program, if I am going online and I'm signing up for the program through the self sign up part of it, in terms of the membership and then the program. Let's say I do that on Saturday and I actually want to start my workouts out on Monday. The program won't auto enroll them even though that they just purchased the membership. We do that because, again, if somebody signs up at 10 o'clock on a Saturday and they don't plan on working out until Monday, the program itself, once they start it, will automatically go to day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, automatically, right? So if they auto-enrolled and started on the same day, they theoretically could be 3 days behind before they even started to do day 1, right? So what happens is they purchase it, they get access to the app, and then when they're ready to start, they would just go to their program. This is why you don't want to have too many options, but they would go to their program. I keep clicking on the wrong one. Go to the program, and then they would essentially start it, and then that's where day 1 would show up, and that's where they would do their workout. Now, if you auto enroll them, so let's say this is a program and you sell it inside the facility, or it's a virtual program that you're working with somebody and you want to give it to them. When you click on the program, you've got this enroll option. So I'm going to enroll the person. So I'm just going to enroll somebody random. You know, I probably already will do him. You got this start date, right? So whatever your start date is going to be when they technically started day 1. There's a couple of cool things that you can do with this. Let's say this is for a 4-week challenge that starts on the 5th, right? And somebody went ahead and pre-purchased the 4-week challenge, but it doesn't start until the 4th. Well, you can go in and manually enroll them into that program and then be like, all right, so day 1 in their app is going to show up on the 4th. So day 1 will happen then. Vice versa. Let's say that same person says, hey, I know you're 4 days into this 4-week challenge and my friend really wants me to work out with them. Well, and let's just say it started last Monday, right? Well, you would still want to go and put Monday as the start date.
That way they're on the same program as everybody else.
Right. So then when they go to their
familiar
app,
from something I did with a previous program.
Oh, perfect. So when they go to the,
So they're
see how
on
it
the
says
right
day
day.
9 of 50?
Right. So they're on the right day as everybody else enrolled in the
Correct. Because if
program.
you enrolled them in the 29th, they would be on day 1 and everybody else would be
In
on
a
day
different
9,
page. Yep.
right? Now, if you use this in that manner, or think you're going to use it in that manner, I highly recommend, just as a standard operating procedure, is like this CrossFit program 5-20-20, right? If I was going to use this in that manner, when I enroll somebody, because I named it 5-20-20,
You'd want to set that start date.
right,
Got it.
and hit save. And now they're on the same day as everyone else.
Got
Right.
it.
If you don't do that, it's really hard to know what day everybody's on, but I recommend
Right.
just doing it that way. Especially if you do like macro cycles or microcycles or
Mhm.
a progressive programming, with high intensity programming, especially at home, you may start out with lower intensity stuff and progressively make them harder and harder. And you can
Right.
do that based upon the program, or when somebody purchases it, you could potentially have beginner, intermediate, and advanced that they can do lateral moves with once they purchase it. Let's say somebody starts on the beginner and they're like, this is way too easy. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and try intermediate. And then they start on day 1 of intermediate, right? And then, intermediate, I'm crushing it. I'm 3 months into it. Now I'm just going to immediately go to the advanced because I'm ready to rock and roll. All right. So the other big thing with this to think about before we get into the actual fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because we haven't got to the fun part, right? Is also communication with your members, right?
Mhm.
If you're doing this virtually or selling the program online, you can automate that communication through the membership. So let's say we'll take that same example. We created an online program that's 8 weeks long, right? Well, I'm also going to add them to a drip campaign via the membership that's going to send them text or emails throughout that entire 8 weeks that they sign up, right? I'm going to show you. So with this programming, in this particular case, I know this is going to go a little bit off the reservation, but I'll bring it back. But so in this particular case, somebody can purchase through this link and get access to that 8-week program that I just created, right? As soon as they get it, they're going to get added as a new member, 8-week program welcome campaign, and they're going to get added to this 8-week program campaign that I've set up to send them emails throughout the 8 weeks, right? And you can have them send text messages, emails, whatever you want it to have. So that way you automate some communications. Now, what I also did is I set this up with the new tags. So within the 8-week program, we've got, there it is, 8-week program, and this welcome email. When they get added to these tags, this campaign is automatically sent out as well. So when somebody signs up for that 8-week program, I've got it set up where it'll automatically send them a welcome email and a welcome text message right out of the gate saying, hey, thanks for signing up. I'm super excited, whatever you want it to say. And then it can automate those things in terms of communication. So kind of think through maybe what you want to do there.
Right.
Now the actual programming. So you can add a program, kind of went through all of that. You understand that. So we're good there. I'm going to go to the at home. So I'm just going to add a day. Now, this, again, is pretty much fully customizable depending on how you want it, how you set everything up, right? So when you add a set, there's a couple of options that you can do here. You can make it a warm up. You can make it a cool down. right? Or you can just keep it as section A. When you add another set, it does set B, set C, set, and it just keeps going and going and going. I'm just going to delete. Now I'm going to just kind of give some examples here. So a warm up, I'm going to make a note, and inside this note, this is going to be, let's see here, daily nutrition tip, and make sure to drink plenty of water each day. And here is an article on, or let's say a blog on why. Read first. And then we're just going to pull up a FitHive blog just because. And sure, we'll do the careers page. Boom. And I'm going to add that link, and I'm going to do read first, add. And then I'm going to add a movement, and that movement is going to be warm up 1. Because I don't want to deal with writing it all out. I know that I've already created it in the exercises as that warm up that I want them to do with the video. I'm going to add it, and then I'm going to add my workout. And in today's workout, I'm going to start off with a strength, and I'm going to do back squat. And inside that back squat, I want them to do 4 sets, and I'm going to customize them, and they're going to do set of 10 at 60% of their 1 rep max back squat that I had them do last week. And then they're going to do another set at 60% of their back squat. And then I'm going to go to 8, and I'm going to do, 75 of their back squat. And then I'm going to have them do 6 at, 80% of their back squat. Boom. Perfect. So I want them to do that first, and then I'm going to do let's see here. I don't know where I put them, but we're going to see. I'm going to have them do this Metcon week 6 for 20 minutes. Boom. And then I'm going to have them do a cool down. And in the same cool down, I'm going to put in there, let's see here. Do I have a cool down in here? Nope, I don't. Let's see here. Is it cardio? Nope, I don't. So I'm just going to say walk. Oh, there we go. Do some list cardio here. Cool. And I'm going to add another note, and this note is going to be amazing job today. Keep up the great work. Boom. And I'm going to hit save. And then what that looks like to the member if that was their day. Let's see if I put it in the right place. Oh, did I? Oh, there it is. Oh, I started it over last. Where did I put it? Day 51 of the at-home program. All right. Day 51. That's day 7. Oh, I can't go any further than that. All right. So here's another cool thing that you can do is day 51. I'm going to copy it. So copy day 51 and day 51. And I'm going to start it on day 1. Boom. Perfect. Let's see if I put it there. Look at that. I just copied it and put it on day 1 as well. There we go. So now this is what it would look like, right? So when the member goes here, they're like, nutrition tip. What is this? Oh, cool. Make sure to drink plenty of water. Read this first. All right, I'll read this. Cool. That's a really cool blog that you just wrote. As many backlinks as you can do will help with SEO. So I would try not to refer them or link them outside of your website, but you can if you want. I don't recommend it. I would write it so that they stay on your page. It just helps with making you the subject matter expert as well as SEO. And they're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna do this cool warm up. This is a crappy option for the warm up, but they can watch the video, see a description, see any of that stuff. And they're like, all right, I did the warm up. Cool. Now I'm gonna do my back squats. Cool. I'm gonna do 135 at 10. Yep, I did this exactly. I'm gonna hit save. So that way I can see a history of what I did and what weights I did and when. And then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna do my Metcon. Cool, 20 minutes. We're gonna do 15 air squats, 15 push-ups, where you could, if you spend the time, you could put videos of air squats, push-ups, sit-ups. So that way they have videos of it too. You could also add that video on the side of you describing it if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I did that and I got, 300 reps. I'm just gonna do 0. I'm gonna hit save. Now I can see a history. And then, cool, I'm gonna do this cardio. Yep, cool. I'm just gonna do some basic run, bike. Don't really need to track it and keep up the great work. Perfect. Done for the day, right? The other thing that you can do with those links, right, that I can show you here. I'm gonna do note. Nope, I'm not gonna add that. I'm gonna just edit this. Make sure to track your habits. And required for the day. And then I'm just going to add my link here. I think I've got a habit tracker here somewhere. There we go. And habit tracker. Boom. Save. So now at the end, they're going to be like, all right, this is required for the day. Cool. I'm going to do my habit tracker. Perfect. I'm already logged in. So yes, I did drink my water. Yes, I completed the workout today. Felt great. And you can require a signature or not require a signature. Doesn't make a difference. Perfect. And then the next day when they log in, it'll automatically go to the next day and then they're ready to go for that day, right? Mm-hmm. Now, once you have this built out and set up correctly, you can always reuse the assets or you can just constantly add to it. So as long as you stay ahead of that person, the first person that joins, they can just keep using the same program, right? Let's see here. The next thing, habit. Oh, now where does this information go as they use it, right? So if you're holding them accountable and tracking stuff, you want to be super careful on what you charge people, because if you're not charging $200 to $300 plus a month, you're probably not going to look at the data very often. But if they are and you're doing that higher value client and you want to keep track of them, you can look at it like this when you go to their profile. So if I was going to sit down and talk to a client about their goals, first thing I'm going to look at, because the way that I've got it set up, is I'm going to look at their forms, see which habit track, make sure that they've filled out all the habit trackers, right? And then you can click on it to see the results of whatever you created. And this is completely free form, so you can make it as long or as short as you want, right?
This is a form you created?
Yep, just created a form and put it on a web page.
God, I have so much to do.
Oh, that's, so really think through what you want to do. I'm showing you everything that I could possibly think of, right?
Right.
You may not go this route, but then you can see any maxes and PRs that they've created, that they've added, because you want to think through that, because these are free form. Which ones do you actually want them to have? I recommend keeping the maxes and PRs to as short of a list as you can to maximize your programming.
Right.
When you really extend these maxes and PRs, just like key performance indicators in your business, when you've got too many of them, there's nothing that you can take action on, right?
Right.
So keep them as short as you want, as possible. Obviously, this demo account has a ton of them just because I show people everything, but
Mhm.
same thing with measurements. Now, you can look through these measurements. You can also look at their progress photos if they're taking them. Now, when you go to the program section, when you click on the program
Often
that
they
they're
upload
working
progress photos. Is that weekly allowance, daily?
at maximum weekly, but you can set that
Okay.
up however you really want. So that's another thing. You can have the system. You can create this check-in form, right? That will automatically go out. So this form, if you build it out, let's say every 3 weeks on a Sunday, I'm going to give them 48 hours to fill out this form. This form can be, there we go. Really anything you want it to be. You can have it require them to take certain measurements, take certain maxes and PRs if you retest, require a photo, require progress photos, and then any questions that you want them to have. The key to this, though, unlike the one that's voluntary, right? So the one that you put inside the programming, this thing down here at the bottom, this is voluntary, right? If they skip this, there's really no way of knowing without, you can set that form up to alert you when they complete it.
Mhm.
However, so that one could be like a daily one. Now this one, when you create it, right? This is one that's required and will actually show up at the top of their app in a big yellow box saying, hey, you need to check in and you got 48 hours to do it. If you
Got it.
don't, it goes away. You can't just go back. But in that particular case, you could require them every 3 weeks, give them 48 hours to answer those questions, take a progress photo, and give you some measurements. But yeah, you can do this required check-in. The frequency is either weekly or months, and you can kind of do that however you want, depending on what you can think of.
Okay.
Highly recommend. Any forms that you use are required. Think about what data you would actually use and what you're actually going to look at, right?
Right.
Because if you require them to do a daily form plus a weekly form, are you really going to look at 8 different forms every week for these particular clients? You may, especially if they're high ticket clients. If they're not, you want to think about what you can actually make actionable items on and what you can hold their feet to the fire for.
Got it.
So in terms of the programs, for example, this at-home program is what we've been messing around with. When you click on that little circle thing, it's a history button. You can actually see a history of what they've been adding or saving on their account.
Sorry, just got jacked by a kid. There we go.
You're fine.
Okay, so it'll pull up all their previous logs.
Yep, all their previous logs. So I think that's programs.
Yeah, just a little bit.